Welcome to the No Filter Fitness of Moms Who Live podcast, where we bring you real people, real stories, with an action plan to match your goals. What's the money question? What's the money question?
I guess I should introduce the episode since it's about aging.
OMG, listen, the money question is this. What is the best exercise and training plan for women over 40, women over 50, and women over 60? Because apparently there is one. They all want to know.
And over 70. And you know what? My mom is over 80, and she wants to know too how to make your size. She's worried about your size. My mom.
OMG.
My mom said that your size needs to be firm because she wants to wear shorts.
Oh
My mom
my.
is 88. I know, right? She said in summer that she wants to walk and she put on her shorts and they don't look good. So she wants to know what can she do for her size.
Well, that's the $1 million question.
And I said, Mom, there is nothing you can actually do just for the size. You have to do it for your whole body. But my mom has a very healthy body image, and she said, my whole body is fine. I don't need anything for my body. My body looks good. I just need my size. I think it's, I'm talking about someone who is, aged pretty well and went through a lot of stress, in his life being 88, right?
Oh, yeah.
World War II and all that stuff, and and still, being able to have this healthy body image and enjoy their body, it's fantastic. So again, there's no, what is it? She had stress-free life? No, absolutely not. Was she always exercising vigorously? No, she was not. But I think it's, talking about stress management and mental health. Was she deliberately had any kind of focused stress management program? Actually, she did not. But however, looking back, I realized that just by nature of circumstances, they all had to because of the type of environment they lived in,
Mm-hmm.
which was Soviet Union. So they had their own coping mechanism that worked. Sometimes better, sometimes worse, but at the end of the
Yeah.
way, at the end of the day, no. So anyway,
Yeah,
what's the
absolutely.
best? You're right, Yana. What's the best exercise, or how to stay in shape, or how to be an athlete after what age?
Should we give the answer away now? Or we gotta wait for the suspense. I, th-
We
I
got to
think
milk
I
it.
think we gotta milk it. All right, so see, you have to stay tuned now to hear this.
We got to milk it.
That's right. Hey, before we
Uh,
start though, we definitely wanna kind of say that uh, if you're liking the content, please subscribe. The podcast that we do, it is not paid podcast. So if you want to actually help the podcast, the best thing to do is actually go to iTunes and rank and also leave a comment. You can rank it, I think, from like 1 to 5 on how you like it, and that's going to allow us and for the channel to actually grow and do well. Obviously to get the word out, get our content out better. So again, if you guys are listeners, please go to iTunes, rank it, and it will really go a long way. All right, here we go. Money, 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 right here. Go
we're
ahead.
gonna be we're gonna be talking about staying in staying feeling at the age that you wanna be, staying feeling ageless if it's possible, stay feeling good over the years.
I don't want to say my age. I want to revert back a little bit, but have my mindset now. Is that possible? Keep my mind, but go back.
Yes, our body, our age of our body is not necessarily our biological age. I understand that this is the thing now. Your body doesn't have to age, but as with your experiences and the way to preserve your body is to be smart about what you're doing. It's a process like everything else that requires steps. So there's, things that are important to recognize as we age or as, time goes on and we keep using our bodies to exercise or not to exercise or whatever. So how, if someone is been exercising their whole life, and as they get older and they keep using their body, how do they feel about the intensity of the exercises? How do they feel about the results that they're getting as time goes on? I can, kind of will jump a little bit all over the place, just like people would do in a real conversation. I can speak for myself, which I have been exercising in one way or another my whole life for as long as I can remember. And I could tell that, going through some changes in my life, I definitely feel different. And I know Yana's been hearing about my different, feeling different for a few years now. It is real. The feel the different feel is real. How different? I feel I need a little more recovery. I feel I need more flexibility training. I need more stress management. I can't get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 4:30, and go for my 6-mile, 7-mile jog at 8-minute mile, and then run straight back and start teaching classes and training people and feeling like I'm ready for my weightlifting session. It just doesn't happen. Does it mean that I should slow down? I thought so, but it doesn't. It means that I need to slow down just enough to add a different type of conditioning into my life, to add mind-body exercise, or maybe just mind exercise or something, so it allows me to go to my next lifting session or to my teaching of the class or whatever it may be. So do we need to slow down as we get older? No, but no, not to slow down to sit and eat a sandwich. No, we need to slow down to introduce, or maybe it's a sandwich sometimes, because we do need to eat.
Listen,
but we'll get there.
If you're running, you got to fuel yourself, especially for 10 miles, okay?
Yeah, you got. It's interesting. It's interesting, and as I said, we have a plan of what we want to discuss with Yana, and I always talk about our plans of discussion, and we trying to stick with the plan, but just like a real discussion. A lot of times you just jump, especially when subject is, near and dear to your heart. You just want to say it all. So yes, you do need proper nutrition, and we get there. However, so talking about the exercise, someone who's vigorously or had a steady routine for years and always felt like this is what they need, this is, how they do it. Yes, you do feel that you feel you need recovery, you feel a little more fatigued faster, and it feels like you got to change something. Very real. If you never exercised and just starting out and you feel, oh my God, I am too old to do fill the blank, that's bullshit. You're not too old to do anything. You need to find a different way to start. Maybe when you are 12 and you want to run, that first mile comes easy. But when you are 21 and you never exercised in your life, or 31 or 41, and you want to run a mile, no. Start with walk a little bit. So warm up a little bit. So just to bring that to round it up, just this particular little block of discussion, you need to just, based on your experience with fitness and based on your age and not even on your experience with fitness, let's start with that. You need to just start the program differently. Whatever you can do, anything you would, you just need a different approach at a different state of your life.
Yeah.
I'll let you mention. She's alive now at your age.
I can finally, I reached that peak. My God. I'm old enough. No, but I think let's go kind of. I always like to touch on the science aspect of things a little bit. So obviously, yes, as we age, things are going to change, right? Couple things couple changes that actually happen. One is obviously muscle mass, right? And some of the women are like, well, especially the ones probably who don't really lift too much. And there's quite a lot of them. They're very more cardio focused. And there's nothing wrong with doing cardio, but do understand that your muscle mass takes up quite a bit of your frame, right? So what happens as you age is you actually start to lose your muscle mass, which means when you are looking at yourself and you're like, why is my skin not as tight? why do I have flab here and I have things here? Well, guess what? That's because you're not weight training and you really need to build up some of that muscle. No, you're not going to look like a man. Like,
Gotta tell my
will
mom.
not. As many times as we say it, some people just don't
If
understand this
I,
concept. Like, you
if
will not
I,
look like a
right.
man.
And it's also so true. I gotta let you know, I promise. You'll talk in a
Yeah, go
second.
ahead.
Yes, muscle mass is on a different as a addition to that. Yes, for your skin to look smooth and toned. But if I did more weightlifting as I was running, because that was my sport. Ever since I came here, that was my sport. I was a runner. Any event that I was doing, it was running was always part of it. But lifting, I just kind of neglected it a little bit. It was like one of those things that you have to do. Like you gotta close your eyes and just lift.
Mhm.
Some of those things in life where you just close your eyes and just do it, get it over with. Was lifting. I needed to go to the gym and just do some quad work. If I lifted more, I guarantee you, my knees would feel better, and I probably would be running more now. But go ahead, go by the smooth of skin. You keep talking about that stuff.
Exactly. So with muscle mass, after the age at about 50, we actually lose 1.3% of our entire muscle mass. And you may not think it's a lot, but let me
La la
tell you,
la 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 la
it's
la 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 la.
if you if I was able to gain 1.3% of muscle mass, I would be like jacked, like literally. So just understand the perspective. 1.3 may not sound a lot, but it actually is a lot, and it's going to be
It's a lot.
enough visibility for your skin to be literally loose, and it's not a pretty picture. At the age of 60, you start to lose at 3%. So what does that mean? Does that mean like you're just you have no chance? Absolutely not. You do have a chance. The point is that the sooner you start weightlifting, and if you continue the weightlifting,
Yes.
you're gonna slow down that process, so it
Is
will
that
not
science?
affect you as much.
And I believe it's a scientific
Yeah.
fact that
Yep.
you will slow down. Now, can
Yes.
you? I'm sure probably someone has the question. Can you build muscle as you age, and especially when you're
Of course you
premenopausal
can.
and postmenopausal, you still can build muscle,
Yes.
just not as
Yes, you
fast
can.
or.
You won't build it obviously as fast as someone who's 20, right, or
Mm,
30. But I'll tell you like this right now, there has been such a big spike in females who are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s even getting into strength sports, meaning weightlifting and doing powerlifting. I plenty of them. I see them at meets when I go, and I mean they're freaking strong. They are stronger than some of the men in the
yes.
goddamn weight room. You're gonna say,
Mm,
and obviously some of them do physique sports, meaning they go into bodybuilding. Let me tell you something. And it's not like they have been bodybuilders or are getting into fitness, their entire life. Some of them literally get into the fitness at 50 years old. And within a couple years, they're able to build up an amazing physique. Let me
novice
explain,
gains.
but yeah, there could be novice gains too, but let me explain to you. It's not as going to be as easy, obviously, as someone who's 30, right? Or someone who's 20. So, yeah, it's going to require quite a lot on your part to make sure, you have the correct nutrition in place, you have the correct training in place. You're not just, and again, recovery, you kind of
Yes.
touched base on recovery. As you get older, your muscles do not recover as fast. They don't. Same thing with your nutrition. Your nutrition does need to change slightly, and it's not a lot, but it does need to change, with your age a little bit. And something that we can always we'll touch base on, but I just wanted to at least bring up some of the points of what happens as we age, and and the aging process starts obviously literally like from almost like 30, 35 years old. Like you hit your even like bone density, right? You hit your top peak of your bone density between 30 and 35. After that, it starts to decline. So someone listening, they're like, what the hell do I care about my bone density? Well, guess what? In America, specifically, I'm just talking about in America, you have one of the highest rates of women and even men who literally are walking and will fall. Like you will fall, right? Just walking. You will snap your hips. You can break your bones. That's because you don't have the enough bone density. Bone density is something that's inside your bone that actually create that structure, right? It's what's holding up your frame in a sense. And the
Yes.
only way to have your bone density to be higher is one, obviously, you need sunlight or vitamin D3. You need calcium. And guess what? For those who think they are I guess, dairy free, and you actually can have dairy, you're really kind of shooting yourself in the face. Like you really are, in a sense. Okay. So, I mean,
Yes, you
whatever the
don't.
case may be, if you don't want to have the dairy, but at least supplement with proper,
Or
calcium.
you do so much chia seed that you'll never leave the bathroom.
Oh, Jesus.
Chia,
You know what?
chia
Don't give
seed has a
anyone
lot of.
don't give anyone ideas. They might try to lose 10 pounds like that, okay?
I know,
Please
right?
do not do that.
There are plenty of dairy sources, but please, don't just discount dairy because you're gonna gain weight from it. It's just
You do not
fine,
there
right?
right. You're
It's
not going
just
to
it's
gain weight.
so.
Your weight gain has nothing to do with the dairy. Your weight gain has to do with how much you're eating. And if you're going to be eating like, I'm sorry, like a pig, okay, don't expect to like lose weight. End of story. Be responsible.
The
So,
pig is they don't really eat that much. I knew, I guess a friend, a client, whatever, someone that I knew that had a pig. The pig was really cute, and they don't eat that much as humans. Humans binge. Well, I guess maybe animals binge too, but anyhow, yeah. I don't like to use animals. I'd rather use humans as examples because animals
well,
I love them more,
right.
but
Oh, I got you. But anyway, it's obviously being responsible for your,
yeah,
your intake and
yeah,
not living in the la la land like
yes,
it doesn't exist. It does
right,
exist. Like, be real about things. So, and then obviously, you weight training in order to actually build up that bone density. That is, you have to have weight bearing exercises, and that is weight training. And so, actually, as you age, it is even more so important to start weight training than ever before in order to keep up that integrity of your bones.
yes.
So you are not walking and all of a sudden you fall and you have, a fractured hip, which is, and I'm sure people who have parents who probably don't exercise or never exercised, they've seen this time and time again, and it's a real fact. It's something that happens quite a lot. So that's kind of on the bone density piece of it.
It seems like so much information, and I know that I, for one, get really overwhelmed when I have so much information given to me at once. So if you're listening, you're like, oh my God, that's just so much, and I cannot fathom it all, and it's just too late for me to start. I don't know where to start. It doesn't matter if you start from just looking at your nutrition or you start at looking at your exercise. Start looking at something. One thing will lead to another. We promise you it does. When you start with something, then you get involved. Get involved, get yourself immersed in something. So when, as Yana mentioned, some sports like bodybuilding or weightlifting, and one of what it brings in this thought is some people when they start working towards something, they want a goal. So the weightlifting and powerlifting and bodybuilding and chess, something like that. Those are, and maybe swimming, right? Biking. A lot of people know how to
Hmm.
bike. Those are competitive sports. What it means is, like people want to train for something. At least there's a category of people, they're competitive. They want to train for something. I've met people on both sides. Some just want to be in the gym and they're okay. They just want to train just to feel good. But some want an event. So powerlifting, this is a great, you can compete because you're competing by yourself and it's an open event. You can compete right away. It's a faster track to having some sort of a meet or a competition. So is a bodybuilding. You can train for an event. It's not, there's no impact. You can train at your own pace with a coach, probably with an online coach, with a real coach, anything. So it's at your own, so you can do that. It's same thing with biking. You can compete for like a biking event. Running, yes, maybe, but again, it's a little more impact. So just got to be careful not to start running right away. So if you're someone who wants to compete, like not compete on a elite professional level, but just for something, this is great. Or, as we were talking also, maybe if you're like like group exercise, maybe become a group exercise instructor. That, they are not someone like elite superhumans. They are real people. They just enjoy group fitness. So this is something for the goals. If just going to the gym or just going and doing something doesn't excite you and you need that destination, which we talked about it. It's not about destination. It's about the journey. But again,
That's
all
right.
connected. But again, just start somewhere. It just get something that excites you and hold on to it, and we'll deal with the rest. Keep listening to the podcast. Reach to one of us or both of us, and as soon as you start, you'll be on the way, and somehow you'll get there. So that's
Absolutely.
important.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm just going to touch base that it doesn't matter. You just, some people may be listening, you're like, oh, I'm just doomed because I'm X age and I haven't done all these things. No, that's not true. You even starting one activity, either weight training or even changing your diet, will literally improve your blood markers. Like if you go and get a blood panel done, I'm sure, not everyone, but for those that have some sort of, elevations in certain blood markers, exercise alone will improve them. So
Absolutely.
you are never ever too old, as you want to say it, too old or too young or whatever the case may be to ever start anything. So don't, especially if you're one of those individuals, don't think you're kind of doomed for things. But kind of, staying in line with like what else changes, with age is obviously our joints. Our joint health is super important, right? And so you want to be able to, some individuals who as they get older, they're like, oh, I'm just going to take up running. And then all of a sudden their knees hurt and they can't run. Well, guess what? If you've never exercised in your life and you're trying to run, and all of a sudden, you go from zero activity to literally going outside and running, several miles, within a week or two, guess what happens? Your joints, they're not adjusted to that amount of weight, that type of pounding that is happening. It really requires for you to take smaller steps in a sense and really allow that impact and kind of, to be absorbed in a sense. You can't expect to go from 0 to 100, right? So just on the training aspect, you do need to keep your joints healthy, and the way to do it to keep them healthy is one, making sure that your bone density, again, weight training, right? You need to have that structure in place. Two is obviously weight training. Why? Because your muscles support your joints. So if you have weak muscles, guess what? You're going to have joint pain. So, all of it comes kind of, all hand in hand together in a sense of why
Proper
why
warm
you need
ups.
to combine. Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm just chiming in as if I'm sitting and talking right next to you. Yes, it's
You
true.
are you are right next to me.
Right. Anyway, absolutely. You're right. The muscle training, the proper warm ups for anything that you do, especially as you get older. I am not. You always have a scientific reason of why. When
Hmm.
I was younger, I used to get out of bed. Nothing would hurt. Nothing. Nothing ever hurt. I would get out of bed literally. I would put on my running sneakers. I will put on my shorts and tank top. I'm running. Now when I get out of bed, if it doesn't all hurt at the same time, it's a good day. So, but I do need. I can run in about
Uh-huh.
45 minutes after I a warmed up my body. After I did a few stretches, a few running warm ups. I stretch. I get my muscle ready. I got a little hydration. I cannot now. I have to hydrate before I go. I don't know why, but I do. And I also cannot run for 2 hours like I used to. I only can run for 30 minutes because then I need to pee. It's real, ladies. It's real. As you get, it's not that I can't. I
Al, I'm
just
gonna
need.
give you I'm gonna give you a secret, and all the women. If you gotta pee, you can wear Depends.
Or you
Along with
just
when you jump and you have to, and then you
get
pee
the.
yourself.
It's right or lift or
That's a
anything.
that's a reality right there.
That's the way I guess once we have children. I mean, I had children later in life, so I had a good life before them. but,
The
but
damn kids
nevertheless,
ruined the life. I know
mhm,
it.
yes. But nevertheless, you just instead of looking at the things that you cannot do, look how you can improve on things that you can do. Because as we get older, there are certain things that we can do more. And just like Anna said, some things may be harder. But listen, but look at the brighter side. Some things may be easy as we get older.
Yeah.
Our kids get older, and you know what? You don't need babysitting. they can stay home. They can go and exercise or go do whatever you need to do. So they get older. As you get older, you also, I think, building muscle, it's also, it's hard and it's easier to, even the strength sports, because if you've been exercising your whole life, you have a strong foundation of your muscles. So maybe if you just work on, increasing like the way they, like if you're looking at the physique sports, at showing the muscle hypertrophy only, you may be able, you're already at certain base of muscle that you build your whole life if you were weightlifting. There's a lot of benefits to to getting older, as there are a lot of obvious things that you need to look out for. Just being more careful with things that you do, and taking
Absolutely.
more, just like a
Yeah.
car. When you
Yeah.
have a car and you have a nice, expensive car or a nice car that served you your whole life, yes, it can smell just as good if you clean it often, if you maintain it, if you change your oil, do your tune-ups, whatever the cars need to do. Just paying attention to your body will give you the same results. Yes, you may have to work harder for them, but it will give you the same results. You still can do the same vigorous routines, just broke down a little bit
Yeah.
and possibly restructured.
Absolutely.
Recovery is important. Stress management is
Recovery
very
is a
important.
big piece. Yeah. So your muscles don't recover as quickly as they used to, right? So
No,
you need one, obviously, in recovery aspect, you need either one, um, longer recoveries between training days. Two is going to be very important, your nutrition. If you are
supplementation.
chronically, and supplementation, if you're chronically under eating, you're not recovering. Just understand that your muscles are only able to recover as much as you feed them. And we're talking about fuel, right? That's food is going to be your fuel for your recovery. And I don't mean like you eating, you know, all sorts of junk food, but you're actually supplementing enough to sustain muscle growth. And how do we sustain muscle growth? That's protein. Many women lack the amount of protein that they're eating. And what is protein? It's, your chicken, your fish, right? Dairy is your protein. You can supplement with protein powder, but
Yes,
you need to make sure that your protein intake as you age actually increases. It has to increase.
absolutely.
It
Let's
must
keep.
increase. You're not going to get away with what you did when you were 20.
Please,
That's
please
it.
repeat it again, because for as many times as I'm hearing a day,
Protein
I
increase.
am tired. I'm tired of eating chicken. I'm tired of eating eggs. I'm
Don't eat
tired of
chicken.
you.
You got
Uh,
beef, you got eggs, you got fish. You got an endless
well,
amount of protein to eat
to
whatever you
me,
want.
if you're tired of eating protein, then don't complain about looking at your arms or looking at
That's
whatever
right.
you look like my mom and saying, "Oh, my thighs are flabby." I won't. Okay, mom. When was the last time you ate? My mom doesn't like meat so much. When was the last time you ate the meat? Oh, I am tired of eating meat. Okay, well then don't be tired
You
of
can
looking at your thighs.
absolutely, but you can
Not
supplement
as simple, but
with protein powder. Protein powder is very good for you. Same thing
you
with
start
creatine. If some people are like, the hell is creatine? Creatine is actually part of you eating meat. Is actually in meat. So if you
right.
do not eat meat, you can supplement with protein powder that has creatine, and they also have branched chain amino acids. Branched chain amino acids, BCAAs, which people are flocking to buy usually, right? I'll tell you like this, just to buy them and use them is not going to really do anything. Now, if you eat enough protein, you technically don't need BCAAs because BCAAs are your building blocks of what's in meat and what you're eating. However, if you don't eat the meat right and you're gonna supplement, yeah, you should probably add extra in there to help you, to maintain your muscle mass. But that is the biggest, if you're gonna take anything out of this, the biggest two is again you having enough protein, literally eating protein at every single meal. That is like the biggest takeaway. And obviously, too, weight training. You got to start weight training. It's if you don't weight train.
That
So
if you
that's
know,
that's the two biggest pieces I think for anyone who's
and
looking
as
to implement something.
And I think that, a lot of, we talk about aging. As we age, the nutrition, yes, it has to change slightly. We have to pay attention to it, and think just paying attention for some may be enough. Just looking, and if you have if you question yourself, should I eat it or not? You probably shouldn't, because when you look at a stalk of broccoli. I bet you'll never ask yourself, should I eat that piece of broccoli? You'll know you got to freaking eat it. It's like you know it. But if you look at something like, is this good for me? Probably not. So just say, just, it's not. So don't play dumb. If, but seriously, yes, as you get older, I believe your macronutrients have to change slightly. We
They
need to
do.
increase the amount of protein per body weight. I don't know exactly the amount, but like Yana said, eating it at every meal will probably be sufficient. As we
Yep.
age, it has to be more. And I don't know the exact numbers, but it is a scientific, clinically proven fact. It has to be more protein at every meal.
Yeah, every the it's going to be based on each individual, depending on obviously
Wait,
one, their whole composition based on your
y-
gender. Well, obviously if you're a female, hopefully we got females here, but you never know. You have males listening too, but it's obviously going to, it all depends. It's going to be your gender, it's going to be your weight, and it's going to be your activity level, and also
right.
your muscle mass. Like, you know what I mean? Like all of this
Eat that
brings into
protein.
account of what kind of macronutrients you need, and the breakdown. But nevertheless, you're absolutely right. If as long as you eat protein in every sitting, you're going to be just fine. You don't need to, in a sense, again, hyper focus on like the exact numbers, unless you want to get on stage. In a sense, you don't really need, or you're really worried about your body composition and you really want to change that. That's when you start to focus more on your macronutrient breakdown. And probably some people who are listening go, what the hell is that? Well, guess what? If you don't know what it is, you need to definitely contact someone who does.
Yes.
So your
Well, it's
macronutrients again is your protein, carbs, and fats. Okay, that's what your that's what your nutrition consists of. And there are certain ratios if you eat will help you in body composition, which is the way you look in a sense. So
and I
that's
mean the
just a little gist
supplements,
of it.
the supplements, everything that they sell at GNC and Vitamin Shop. Obviously, they're still opening in the clusterfuck, so people are still buying stuff, which is
Yeah.
great. Listen, I mean, I am for once, I am a supplement junkie. I love supplements. To me, it's like sending a kid to a candy store
Oh
because I
man.
mean, I love my supplements because I feel, but I do believe that when you are eating well or focusing on nutrition and you do take your probiotics or you do take your BCAAs or you take your recovery, the glutamine that I take for recovery, I personally feel it helps me. Would it help me if I don't sleep enough? No. However, if everything else is in place, yes, go get your supplements, but it, they're not gonna hurt you. But
I
they're
think it's
not gonna by
something
itself. They're not gonna help you. They
absolutely.
are not gonna help you.
So with supplements is something we're going to touch separately on because a lot of people, what happens is they only look onto the supplementation and they may mistaken the fact that they need only supplements and don't understand that supplements literally make up almost like the minutia. It is 5%, maybe even
It,
3% of,
you won't.
of results that you're going to have. You first need to
No,
have the
I would say
proper.
0%.
Yeah, at first you really need to, your main things you got to focus on is going to be your nutrition and your exercise and your recovery piece of it. When you have those in place, and we're talking about you are being consistent with things, it's not a yo-yoing back and forth effect.
No,
Only then can you really look into supplementation. So that's something I just want to bring out because again, the word supplementation means in addition to,
you.
you should be through your diet, through your natural diet, able to get
Yes.
every single nutrient and mineral that you
Even
need, right? In a sense.
how about with age now? Because we're talking about aging. Is
Sure. With
adding
age, the major pieces, the only major things that that science does say with age is, and it's with everyone, is going to be again vitamin D, which is sunlight. Majority of the people, especially the ones that work, right? They're inside their desks or sitting at a desk inside a house for 8 to 10 hours.
How
They
about
never get
now?
any
We're
of the
all
sunlight.
sitting at the desk. We're all sitting inside the motherfucking houses.
I know, right? But get outside, get some natural sunlight. You do need sunlight for the calcium to absorb into your bones and create some bone density. Just an FYI, if you didn't know that. So yeah, you need either
Yes,
sunlight or
but
vitamin D. You need your calcium, you need your magnesium, and you need protein. Protein is huge. Same thing as if you don't eat fish, Get yourself some omega
Omega
threes.
3.
Yeah, you can supplement omega threes. But honestly, that is the gist of what you really need. You do not need anything above that unless
Right.
you are an athlete and you really train hard. You really need a supplementation in addition to, because you do so much and you cannot get it
Right.
through just your diet and regular recovery of things. You know what I
And
mean?
it
And
has to
guess
be
what? Guess what? The listeners that are listening, majority, I'm going to say majority, 90% of you do not fall in that range. So don't kid yourself.
right.
It's good that
Right.
you
Well,
go work out for an hour, but guess what? An hour is not the same thing as
right.
3 hours in the gym. And we're not talking about you walking and texting on a little piece of elliptical machine, all right? We're talking about hardcore training,
Right.
okay? Let's
I mean,
understand the
yeah, and
difference.
if you spend
Yeah,
3 hours in the gym, maybe you should like comment us below or like private message so we can get you a good training program. No one needs 3 hours in the gym. We can get you in and out of the gym in an hour, and you'll be
that's
sweating your
right.
out of your eyeballs. Uh,
That's right.
just a last thing about the supplements. It's like if you decided this is how like to make a connection. So supplements are your running shoes. So if you never ran in your life and you get a pair of this beautiful Under Armour, gorgeous
Mm,
running shoes,
that's
right?
right.
That's a gorgeous running shoes that are excellent. By the way, I do love Under Armour running shoes, but you never run in your life and you don't train, you don't, and you put them on. Is it gonna make you a runner? Hell no. But if you've been training if you've been training properly, you have a shoe that fits, shoe that's good for you. Will it help?
That sounds like
Absolutely.
Cinderella. I like this. It's like a Cinderella story. Shoe that fits. Listen, we're not sponsored by Under Armour, but we will take sponsorship if they hear us.
That's right. Yes. No. I mean, yes. The thing that we mentioned is, out of the fact that
Just things that we
we've
actually
tried them.
use that
Yes,
we found
that we
very,
found,
very
and
useful. Hmm.
I think that at this point we touched on so many different things with as far as the aging goes, and I believe that there's more episodes that need to come because there's more because we're all age. Every day we
Yeah,
age, and
we
maybe
do.
something that we didn't touch. Please ask us a question, comment, subscribe and comment. Tell us what you want to hear. And Yana likes to summarize what we talked about. She's good at that.
All right. I'll give the quick little summary, which I think we did before. I think the biggest takeaway one with nutrition is making sure you have enough protein. Protein. That's all I want you to keep saying to yourself is protein, protein, protein. And protein does include, by the way, some dairy. Okay, dairy, it has protein in it. So you can supplement. And if you don't like dairy, and if you don't want to eat your chicken, you don't want to eat your
Or
eggs,
if
you don't
you
want to, whatever the case may be,
or if
you
you're
can supplement
allergic.
with protein powder. Or
But
even if
make
you're
sure,
allergic. Yeah,
right, just be careful. But yes, dairy is good for you. It's a lot of protein.
it does have a
Exercise,
lot of, and it's bone health, by the way. That's your calcium
right,
right there.
calcium.
So
Exercise,
you'll have some stronger bones.
gut health, probiotics. Oh my gosh, dairy
Yes.
is just is
Probiotics for
great.
your gut health. Absolutely. That's your kefir and all of your some of the yogurts that have the natural live bacteria in it, which is actually very good for you. But
E-
yeah, and that's
Exercise at
go ahead.
exercise at any age is good. Exercise at any age is good. Age is not an excuse not to start something. Exercise at any age is good. Becomes important what goes into your exercise, just like we said, what goes into your macro, your diet, your protein, your breakdown of your diet. They look at your exercise. If you do not diversify, like you don't put your
Hmm.
money only in one place, all your eggs in one basket, whatever the word comparison you use in English. Look at what your exercise breakdown is. You may need to change things out a little bit, but it's not an excuse. Do you feel a little different as you age? Hell yes. Just like you feel different when you get your period, you're gonna feel different when you lose your period. So it's all normal. Does your period stop you from exercising? Some people, believe it or not, it does. Listen, I'm not talking, not judging. It stops you from exercising. Be careful when you lose your period because once you lose your period, you lost it kind of forever. So if you're gonna
Yeah.
wait, you so you will feel different when you lose your period. Again, look at things that are happening in your life. Change some things. It's not. You will feeling different doesn't mean you should not exercise or you should stop doing what you're doing. If you're a vigorous exerciser, continue. Just do it slightly different. don't know how, contact the coach, do some reading, contact us. You should be continuing all your activities as you get older. There's no reason
Absolutely.
to stop.
And more, it's more so important to include weight training. You need to
Right,
have
right.
weight bearing exercises in order to keep up that muscle mass, in order to be able to keep up your strength. You lose strength as you get older, by the way, you
And
do. You also lose your fast twitch muscle fibers. And people who don't know what fast twitch muscle fibers are, there's the ones that are responsible for your power and your strength, right?
sprints,
So well,
sprinters.
in a sense, sprinters, but I mean, as you age, even the people who are, are not sprinters, they still need those quick muscle fibers. Those are your reaction,
Yes,
right? Your
yeah,
reaction to be able to do things and not like turn around and all of a sudden you have a broken hip and you're like
yes,
dying and you have, pains. So, all of that, all these aches and pains that you hear about as you get older, guess what? They improve with exercise. They improve with weight training because it's going to be able to sustain your frame. It's going to make your frame stronger, not bulkier. You will not look like a
yeah.
man, no matter how long you've been training, especially if you're natural, and majority of us are
Yeah.
natural. We don't take any steroids. you listen, that's it. Like
Mm. That's not the supplements we're
you're
talking about.
actually gonna look nice and tight and toned.
And your posture muscles will improve because when you train your bones, your spine, the way you stand, it will improve. The way you sit, stand, your physical appearance will improve with your
Hmm.
weight training because of the way that condition your of the way you condition your muscle and you improve your appearance, not just by skin, by your posture. So yes, absolutely weight training. And
Hmm.
the next one, as far as the cardio conditioning, I don't like to go male female, but some males, and again coming from experience, as they get older, they actually need to put in some cardio because male dominant sport is bodybuilding, weightlifting, and they are never do cardio. But heart disease is real. As you
Oh
get
yeah,
older, you get a
heart
little bit of a
health.
gut or whatever. You need some cardio.
Everybody for heart health, you need to
You
exercise.
need to
Just like you
cardio, cardio.
exercise
So
your muscles with weights, you got to exercise your heart, which is your
embrace,
cardio. Yeah.
to me, embrace your age as much as you can. And I'm not just saying it coming from personal experience. It's for me, it's one of the hardest things that I have ever done in my life. Not the hardest, but one of them is to actually keep embracing my age. But I do believe that it comes from accepting something and working with it instead of against it. You're definitely going to get much further.
Absolutely. I think we kind of touched it all.
We did good.
We did good. All right. So if you guys, if you like the content, subscribe. Obviously, go to YouTunes and iTunes,
iTunes
YouTunes,
and
iTunes.
YouTube.
I
iTunes
know,
and
right? And
YouTube.
YouTube, yeah, yeah. If whichever platform you're listening or watching this on, because we are on YouTube and on iTunes, please subscribe, leave a comment, leave a rating. It really goes a long way because this is free content that we are putting out for you. Because we do feel that the experience and the knowledge that we have, something that needs to be talked about and something that needs to get out to the general public because there is quite a lot of misinformation, specifically targeting women for many, many years in the fitness industry. And I myself have been a victim of it. And I don't think, me personally, I want to make sure that women do understand that there's other options and you are not a slave to this fitness world of potions and detoxes and some other shit that they sell you, which is again marketing. They want your money. Guess what? Give us the money, and we're actually going to get you in shape for the rest of your life.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And absolutely. Please share your our podcast on your media uh, pages, right? Am I saying it right?
Your
Uh,
page. Yes, do share it with friends and family and anyone else who wants to
anyone.
listen
I
to
mean,
it.
just
Absolutely.
let people hear. Let people hear. We welcome more people. We would like to have more people involved, and sharing to share with as many people as we can, or as wide of the now as wide of audience as we possibly can. Anyone that you think may be interested, please share with them the podcast, share on your pages, on your social media.
Yep. Thank you. Bye.
Bye.